that having been said, I do believe it was rather cruel to let him go over the phone, victorious or not. The man gave his best, and he deserves to be sacked with some more dignity. As to Felipe Melo, indeed, he is seen as a villain by Brazilian football fans, and he was always known to be rather temperamental. His arrival here was met with shouted criticism and some measure of tension.
Well, it's a very level-headed analysis from you in Sao Paulo. Perhaps not quite so level-headed is Edem, who's posted at worldhaveyoursay.com to say that Suarez should be handed an 8-year minimum ban to serve as a deterrent for others. I mean, that might be a bit steep, Victor, but actually isn't it time FIFA sent a message out that if you play act, if you dive, or if you cause an offence like that, you are going to be punished?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to the play acting, I think they have to crack down on it now. You know, the rolling around in the area. I'll go back to something like Camp de Villa in the Portugal-Spain game, as you said, in the Slovakia and Italy game. They need to cut down. They need to, ban, 5-match ban, a big fine on play acting. But when it comes to the Suarez, I think there's not much you can do on that. There's not much you can do on that.
Let's speak to someone in Venezuela now. We can speak to Gabriel, who's joining us on the phone. Gabriel, it has to be said, in Uruguay, your team's not the most popular in the world at the moment. Can you make a defence for Suarez?
Of course. He's a hero here in Uruguay. It's part of the game. Any player should would have made the same thing. We defeat him up to the last moment. And he's a hero today. He's sacrificing himself for the rest of the team.
Well, you're right. He has sacrificed the semi-final. He is going to be available for the final, though, FIFA say. Kwame, I wonder what you think listening to that. Listening to someone in Uruguay, Gabriel, saying Suarez is a hero.
Yes, it's true. I do agree with him, because if it were me, I would have done the same thing. This game is made by man. It can never be perfect. So there are some things we should, but he got what he deserved, the red card and being sent off. A Samoa judge should have taken the opportunity and scored the game and kill it. So it's okay, I do agree with him.
Fascinating. A lot of you agreeing. I mean, Johannes, am I the only one here who's slightly uncomfortable with the idea that the children in Uruguay and all around the world are watching a game, a crucial game, the first African team in the semi-final of a World Cup possibly being decided by a blatant bit of foul play?
Well, I mean, just consider the option for a second that Asamoah Gyan would have scored this penalty, as 9 out of 10 do. I don't think we would have any discussion right now. So I still do believe that this is just part of the game. We shouldn't. I mean, football is so popular all over the world because we've had the same rules, more or less 2 or 3 rules, maybe slightly changed, the offside rule and the passing back to the goalkeeper rule. But it's the same rules that people played 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and so I think, yeah, we can't change after this one scene. We can't change the FIFA rules.
Johannes, thank you very much indeed for that. Here's a tweet to BBC_WHYS from Funny Humour in Nigeria saying, all these footballers using their hands, it's just a disgrace. First Maradona, second Luis Suarez. Who next? Rob Green? Very good, very good. And Zebrans in Zambia says, Uruguay will be beaten by the Dutch terribly for unfairly going through. But Victor, as we know, there's no justice in football, is there? Just because something happens in the quarterfinal doesn't mean anything's going to happen in the semi.
That's right. No, definitely not. I mean, Uruguay could easily just go through, and like you just said, Suarez is going to be available for the final. So a lot of people will think that's not right, and possibly so. But I mean, you can't really go back to the same thing again and say that he needs to be banned for 8 games or so many more games. I understand the Ghanaians must be angry, but it's something FIFA, I don't think, even will look into.
I don't think angry is the word. I think we need a new word to describe how some of you in Ghana are feeling. OK, we heard from Gabriel in Uruguay. Let's bring in Cecilia, who's also on the phone. Hi, Cecilia. Can you justify what Suarez did?
Hi there. Hi. I lost connection, I think.
I was just going to say to you, can you justify what Suarez did?
Well, actually, I think Suarez did what every player should have done. He didn't cheat at all. He had committed a fault, and then he was sent off for doing that. A penalty was going to Ghana, and then they miss it. But Suarez did the right thing, as every player who would have done, defending their team. That is our opinion, or maybe my personal opinion here in Uruguay.
Cecilia, some people are emailing the BBC saying, what kind of a message does this send to children in Uruguay if they see their team winning in this way? You don't have any of those concerns?
Well, yes. For us, for my generation, it's the first time that Uruguay reached a World Cup. The last one was in 1950s in Brazil, Maracanã. So all the stories we hear about Uruguay winning a World Cup is from our parents and grandparents. And for us, for the children, for young people, this is a big thing going on here. It's the first time we are living this experience, and it's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, everyone is very happy, and one of the things I would like to point out here is the Uruguayan team is an example of a team that plays with the heart and really focus to win, and also to show to the rest of the world the effort, the respect, and the humility of this team from Tavares, which is a fantastic.
Let me just jump in here, only because we've got a couple of other callers waiting to come in as well. But that's a fascinating point that you say there's much more good than harm being done in the eyes of Uruguayan children, because they're seeing their team do better than they've done for many, many years. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Let's pull up another email on the screen now. VJ is in India. He's got in touch with us through Facebook and said, I thought 2006 was the worst World Cup I've ever seen, but 2010 is definitely worse. I mean, Victor, leaving aside your Spanish affiliation and enthusiasm, has the football really been as bad as VJ suggests?
I agree with him, yeah. I mean, if you take it from the first round matches, they were terrible. A lot of stalemates, a lot of 0-0s, 1-1s, draws, and the football, they were nervous games. People didn't want to lose the first game. It's always, you need to win the first game. Then we saw a little bit more in the second game, third game, started to get better. But it seems like it's a more defensive World Cup. Not as many goals, not as much attacking, too much to lose, really. So, yeah.
Unless, of course, you're Germany, who've put 4 past 3 teams now. Johannes in Berlin, do you think that overall the standard of football's dropped from the tournament you hosted in 2006?
I don't know about 4 years ago. I mean, it's difficult to judge for me, because 4 years ago, from the first game on here in Germany, it was just one cloud of excitement that we really rolled on for the whole World Cup. This year, I would agree that especially the first and second games, they were pretty tedious. I saw that as well. For me personally, I started to get excited for this World Cup with the Germany-England game. In the round of the last 16. I think one of the main reasons for that is many of the players seem very tired, especially players who play in Europe, like Kaká, like Cristiano Ronaldo. Many of the stars seem to be very much overplayed to me. They just have too many games, and then 2 weeks after the Champions League final, they already start the World Cup. So.